Hello, Africa. Hello, everyone everywhere in Africa and beyond. This is African Proverbs by the Yoruba. On this episode of African Proverbs by the Yoruba, this is the proverb. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. You don't rejoice on a friendly crowd. You don't befriend a crowd and rejoice. A crowd is a group of people who have converged on a ground for reasons that may vary. Sometimes they have come together for specific reasons, and sometimes they have just come individually to meet on that ground. And so when you see a crowd, the agenda may be as many as the number of people in the crowd. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. Even though while you are in the crowd, you would see some show of kindness, some show of courtesy, some show of friendliness, and you may also experience the complete opposite of all these virtues. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. But regardless of what you may be experiencing in a crowd, either kindness or courtesy or friendliness or the opposite of all of these, a crowd is not what you experience and then relax and then feel that you are home. Because at the end of the day, you will realize that crowds are usually temporary gatherings. Even when the crowd has come together for specific reasons, it is still a temporary formation. It doesn't last forever. And even when the crowd turns rowdy and somebody mounts the podium to say silence in Yoruba, they'll say atoto arere, that person is calling for silence. It does not necessarily mean that the person who is calling for silence has come in peace. It may mean that the person also wants to seize the opportunity to sell his agenda, because you may have as many agendas in a crowd as the number of people in the crowd. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. When you are in the crowd, you must at all time be conscious of it, that you have the responsibility to keep your head while others lose theirs. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. You don't befriend a crowd and rejoice. You don't rejoice on a friendly crowd, because soon or later, the crowd would disperse. Everyone would go their separate ways. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. When you are in a crowd, there may be rules and maybe there are no rules. But as an individual, do you have your own life rules? Do you have your own life standards? Do you have your own checks and balances? And once you have this, it is easier for you to recognize it when the rules or the standards of the crowd contradict your personal life rules. And when the standard of the crowd contradicts your personal life rules, then you need to know what to do. Either you want to leave the crowd or you want to become more diplomatic even within the crowd. A kì í ṣọ̀rẹ́ èrò káyọ̀. You don't rejoice on a friendly crowd. You don't befriend a crowd and rejoice, because being in a crowd is not something that lasts forever. A crowd is nobody's heritage. A crowd standard cannot be adequate as every individual's life rules. Wherever you go, you must remain in the foundation of your family standards or your religious standards or your personal life rules or ideologies or the foundation of the norms and values of the society that raised you. You must have an anchor. Otherwise, you'll be lost in the crowd. You'll be deceived that this friendly crowd is something to rely on, whereas it is not so. You don't befriend a crowd and rejoice. You don't rejoice on a friendly crowd. And let me tell you, the individuals who appear as most brilliant, most concerned, most beautiful, most friendly. Just mention any adjective that you may have to qualify any crusader, any public speaker in a crowd. I tell you, everybody has an agenda. And if you care to know, sometimes the agenda that an individual has come to sell to a crowd has been fashioned in realms that are beyond the physical. And if you lose your head in the crowd, then you become the reason for them to get crowned in those realms. A word is enough for the wise, and I believe you reflect on this, you let this guide you, you let this inspire you. That's it on this episode of African Proverbs by the Yoruba. My name is Bola Omotayo. See you again and very soon. Bye for now.